morning, viewers. Welcome to Global Entertainment News, your breakfast show, the daily dose of news and updates. I am your host, Busola, and joining me in the studio today is
Bella.
okay. So we are going to take our today's story from Punch and Vanguard newspaper. Today's top story from Punch: 3,690 Nigerians listed as U.S. mass deportation continues. About 3,690 Nigerians in the United States are faced with deportation as Trump cracked down on illegal immigrants in the country. In the document complied by US Immigration and Customs Enforcement and removal operations and cited by our correspondent on Tuesday, the agency revealed that the data is broken down by nationality and number of people faced with deportation. It also clarified that as of November 24, 2024, there are 1,445,549 non-citizens on ICE non-detained dockets with final removal orders.
I think this is actually a sad one because most people that have left the country
Yeah,
earlier
for
this
greener
year for
pasture.
greener pasture and then they are already facing a deportation is
Mhm.
really, really saddening because some of these people feels like they are running away from home because of this country situation, and then right now they are being faced with deportation. I don't know how many years some of them has actually stayed there because some will be there just of
For yeah,
recent, and then it's not that long. And coming back now is just as if that they have to start
all
sorting
over
out
again.
for another well-developed country and then to just fly out. And then Trump is trying to clear his country and then make it a better one, but at the same time, it's affecting lots of people
It will
right now.
surely affect everybody.
It's affecting lots of people. It's
Yeah,
not just Nigeria though.
everybody.
Every
Yeah.
African country and other countries are facing the same thing. But at the same time, you should just slow it down and then have some pattern.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Telecoms 50% tariff hike. Subscribers head for court as NCC talks deadlocked. Nigerians are mounting a resolute challenge to the continuous 50% increase in call and data tariff, with telecom subscribers and advocacy group escalating the matter to the court following unsuccessful attempts to engage the Nigerian Communication Commission. The National Association of Telecommunication Subscribers declared its intention to initiate legal proceedings against the telecom regulator on Wednesday, citing the NCC failure to address its demand for a reduction of the tariff hike to a more acceptable 10%.
Well, this telecom of a thing that we have been talking about is really something that the government needed
Needs
to
to
make
check
to.
on.
Even if the telecom company says that they wanted to, and then the government reduced it to a 50%, like 50-50 for them, is still something that is too high for Nigerians to actually work on right now.
It's
If I
too
thought
much.
if this thing was actually implemented on the time that everything is doing
Okay.
okay in Nigeria, I feels like no one is going to be noticing it. But right now, the average people in Nigeria, they can't even afford a hundred naira or above 100 naira recharge card this time around. Some people will recharge 100 naira card and then they tend to use it for a week or a 2 weeks,
Plus,
3 weeks plus because they feels like they don't have money. While you are thinking of what to eat, you can't be thinking of how to get money unless if you feel like okay, someone asks you to call me so that they can help you out on assistance with whatever you need. That is when you feel like you wanted to get card. But if there's nothing like that, an average Nigeria cannot actually afford that. The government needed to reduce this telecom tariff. It's really, really expensive for the average Nigerian.
to me, this is even supposed to be the least of her problem. Imagine and you
Well,
adding the hike of tariff
talking about the
price.
insecurity is very, very a hard debate from whatever this is right now because yes, we know people that are being in a wrong direction, like they got missing that not even they needed to call and then make, but at the same time we needed to consider the average Nigerian. This is not the right time.
At all.
Every other thing needed to be settled, and then let there be at least a minimum of food floating that
Yeah.
people can be able to afford. You can't be thinking about food and then you wanted to go back and then still be thinking of if I buy this 100 naira card, it will not last me for a day.
What- Okay, let's move on. Syndicate supplying motorcycles to Boko Haram in Niger, Kaduna busted. Operatives of the Nigerian police force have busted a syndicate allegedly involved in selling motorcycles to Boko Haram terrorists in Niger and Kaduna states. The Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 7, Bennett Igwe, disclosed this during a press briefing at the zone headquarters in Abuja on Tuesday. Igwe stated that acting on credible intelligence, detectives apprehended three suspects in Suleja local government area, Niger State. He identified the suspects as Shamsuddin Yunusa, 13, Zahraddeen Saidu, 25, and Mustapha Haruna, 22, adding that a total of 22 motorcycles, multiple master keys, and stolen phone were recovered from the suspects.
What I'm going to say that Nigeria is we are actually one of our own problem. It's going to feel like, what about the government? What are they part of? Yes,
We are
we
also
have
doing ourselves.
we actually have the leaders that suit most of us, and
Yeah.
that is the part about it, because we can't actually be partnering with something that is actually killing us. I know the country is on a very very hard how will I facing a very hard
Issue now.
circumstances now. We are on the bridge of
Collapsing.
falling out at the world economic, and then we know that we needed money. But at the same time, when they say that we needed a better Nigeria, we shouldn't just open our mouth and say that the government should come out and come and fight for us now, when we know that we can be a supplier to those terrorists. We supply food for them, we supply arms to them, we supply motorcycle rides to them, and then we still wanted to call on the government to come and fight for us. There are even people that is giving them information that this is the plan of the police, so the security agency, make sure that you people run away from this side because they already know that. Like, why are we doing ourselves? If the country needed a perfection, it's the same. We started from ourselves, and then before we feel like, okay, let the government step in. If the government, they are trying their best, and then we on the other hand, the citizens are on the other hand, and then they are trying to ruin everything for the government, do you think they'll still continue? They rather just abandon everything and then feels like we are not ready for anything. We're going to blame the government. The government are the bad people, they are the bad egg, they don't do this, they don't do this. But the one that they are doing, we see how the government we put a manhole and then someone will go and remove it. Street light, you see people that is going to be removing
Yeah.
it. Now talking about a terrorist, and they still have supply motorcycle for them. That is really bad.
Even though we are talking about the government to step up and become a good leader, we ourselves, what are we doing to help them? So we should also just try our best. And when I used to say, once Nigeria comes together and become one, sincerely speaking, this Nigeria will change for good. This country will change for good. We just need cooperation, unity.
It's really saddening. It's
Yeah.
really, really saddening.
Okay, let's move on. 1,088 arrested for financial crimes, $11 million, 142 billion naira recovered, says police. No fewer than 1,088 suspects linked to various financial crimes have been arrested in separate operations in 2024. The operation also led to the recovery of $11 billion and 142 billion naira, according to a statement on Tuesday by the first public relations officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi. Adejobi said the arrests and recoveries were part of Nigeria's ongoing efforts to address its placement on the Financial Action Task Force grey list.
There's financial crime of the team is something that is like everyone that got the chance to actually be where money is, they're going to have that temptation of actually wanting to have their own, even if they are not being caught at that very moment. There's this kind of a thing that it keeps dragging you into that same act of like the desperation of
To
it,
do it.
because when you're going to be where a lot of money is, you have it's as if that, okay, let me take it, and then it's not a good thing to actually take what belongs to someone else.
Yeah.
You are going to, if you're going to get caught, you face the court and then you'll be jailed for it. But people don't feel like that is how to be. In Nigeria, we are going to say that it's because you don't know how to do it. So let me know, let me do it on my own way. Then it seems that I won't be caught. But you can't actually be stealing from other people what does not belong to you. This money is meant for a project, and then it went through your account. But it feels like the money is too much. How
You want
can
to
this?
cut it down.
I want to cut it down. Imagine all those 188 people now. What they have, how
And
much they
after
have,
you have cut it down, the others that are going to
how
receive it,
much
they will also want to break it
how
down.
much they have actually lavished
Mm-hmm.
with that money that is not even their own, and
Yeah.
then they finally being caught.
Hmm. What is your opinion? Okay, let's move on to today's top story from Vanguard. 4 died, many injured as explosion occurs in Ogun. Abeokuta, persons were confirmed dead, while several others sustained injuries following an explosion that rocked Sabo area of Owode in Yewa South local government area of Ogun State. It was gathered that the incident occurred on Monday night, where a scavenger, popularly known as Bola Bola, inadvertently triggered the explosion while dismantling a metal object.
Nigeria used to there's one that happened at Edo State, there's one that happened at Gombe, there's one that still happened yesterday as
Okay.
well, and the other one that still happened. Well, the total calculation of it is like there are almost a thousands of recorded accidents since last year till now of this explosion of a tanker, and then we are still very very desperate for it, because if a tanker fell today, there's still going to be another people that is ready to scavenge through that, and then we are not.
This is not an issue of tanker. It was an issue of Bula Bula trying to, look for a melter from that. I think something was under the metal and it got
It was
exploded.
about an explosion, and
Okay.
then it's also happened because we are already used to that. Many of it are just like, how will I even say, Nigeria are good at risking our life though.
That's what we are good in.
We are good in risking
We
our
can't
life,
fight for ourselves, but we risk our life.
we can't fight for ourselves. And then the total of all this explosion has been occurring
It's
since
just too much.
since
Too much of people are
since
just
this
dying.
month, this new year alone. There is a lot and lots that have been happening between this explosion. And then I don't even know if because even if the governments come out and warn people against it, that whoever that is being caught in they should be there's still going to be people that feels like they
We
are
will not
above the
listen.
law.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they like, and we keep losing our life in a very way that does not even make sense to
True.
us.
Okay, let's move on. 1 dead, 4 rescued. Others trapped as two-story buildings collapse in Lekki. The building, located at Ikota, Lekki area of Lagos State, was a two-story affair still under construction. Men of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency (LASEMA), Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service, Nigeria Security and Civil Defence Corps (NSCDC), among other rescue teams, are still at the scene to rescue trapped victims. At first time, only 1 casualty could be confirmed in the unfortunate incident. The 4 rescue victims, with varying degrees of injuries, were immediately rushed to a hospital for a medical attention. Meanwhile, the cause of the incident had not been ascertained at first time.
How would they say that because of the incident?
As like
If a building keep, there is the second
collapsing.
one.
Yeah,
It's
in
still
Lagos State.
in Lagos State, because you can't actually tell me that you wanted to make a building that you expect it to last you for 10 years, 12 years, 20 years, and then you have to go for the low qualities of a material just because you wanted this um
Thing to be done
house
quick.
to be done quickly or save money, so that you don't want it to move into the house, and then people will now feel like, you don't have money, you build house and you did not have any property inside. Why don't you try your best to actually make sure that even if it is little by little, but go for the best quality of product that can
Materials.
last you. Now all the money that is being spent on it is
Wasted.
wasted now, and
Yeah.
then people are being trapped in it.
Now people lost their lives
that
because of
that is
this.
that is really really something worrisome about Nigerians, and then why they wanted to rush into it.
The thing that kills most Nigerians is ignorance. Like they just ignore things, just a small thing like this, and they ignore it, and it not only affect them but affect every other people around them. That's what is just killing
The,
Nigeria.
the constructors, the owner of the house,
I
everybody,
won't only sincerely I won't only blame the person that is like the owner of the person, that the owner of the house, because the constructors too, if they know that, okay, yes, you accept that, okay, probably you are not going with them.
I'm going to
No,
blame.
because if once they know that this material that they are buying is not good, why will they go for the work?
I'm going to blame the both of them because they actually know that this thing is not good. If someone called you for a work and then you have already tell them their price and then they feels like they wanted to discharge it lower, not you shouldn't be so desperate because you feel like
Exactly
you
what
want
I'm
to
trying to
collect.
say. You
You want
stand your ground.
you tell the person you are not doing.
Exactly.
Both of them are at fault here because if you're not ready to actually build a house to use a good material, then don't even think of going into it.
You know, the people that wants to build the house, they will want to push it to, now, you know, this thing is the amount, we know the price at the market, why are you bidding us? Like, but once you stand your ground, you let them know that this is the price, they should go to the market themselves to go and get it, and they will know what comes for them.
Wow, this is really not fair.
All right, let's move on. How 16 years old student ran mad after alleged sexual molestation by popular Lagos hoteler. A 16-year-old secondary school student in Lagos has allegedly ran mad after confessing that he was sexually molested by a popular Lagos hoteler at Bucknor, Isheri, Osun area of the state. The incident, which rattled his parents, reportedly started before last Christmas when the student confided in his mother that he had a confession to make before the new year. God,
A 16
so
year
saddening.
girl child is under has been a molester, and then this is a guy, not is a boy,
Yeah, not a lady.
not a lady. And you can imagine the kind of how will I say it, the molestation that is actually happening in both genders. It's not just a lady right now, and this thing is something that we
Need
really
to
need
check in.
to look into. The poor boy now has already run mad and
God,
then is
the
now out of
trauma and
like they
everything.
needed to go into a lot of investigation to actually bring this person into
Out.
notice because in his own word he says that the person tell him that if he tries to speak out he's going to die instantly. It's not just him, with his classmates as well, and that is really some worrisome. What does this person use on them? Why does he has to go take advantage
A
of a
16 year old
young boy?
young boy. God.
Nigeria is really turning into something that's really some of us are naive to it, why some are not even not. They tend to feel like you don't know the way, we know the way.
Okay, viewers, thank you for joining us on the breakfast show today. I've been your host, Bisola. Be sure to join us again tomorrow, same time, same station. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more news and updates on Global Entertainment News TV. I've been your host, Bisola. Have a blessed day.